3, 2, 1. Hey.
I have one hand left. I keep doing. I did that last
Caught you
podcast
off guard
too.
there, man.
Yeah, episode
7. Welcome back for all you who have tuned in so far.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to do these podcasts and still sort of keep like a light-hearted approach to it because of it's just been getting shitter and shitter.
Yeah.
Everything that's been happening. Yeah, I've shared some stuff on my Instagram of like the EDL's counter protests.
Oh, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch the video that you posted, but I can kind of gauge.
It's literally like a bunch of like angry
Football hooligans.
football
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
They're all like, I feel bad for the brand Stella because I'm sure they're like, we are Bosch and Belgium. Oh yes, we're Bosch and French or Belgique, whatever it is. And then
Belgian.
they're just a bunch of angry white
Hooligans,
dudes.
yeah.
And there's this one clip where they're just like squaring up to the police, like who are in full riot gear, and he just goes, "Fuck it!" And he just goes, "Bam!" Like reached over the top, right hand. I don't know if the policeman gets dropped, but it's
like decks a police officer.
yeah, like
what the
in
fuck?
The, you know, in the riot gear, the perspex,
yeah,
plexiglass,
Yeah,
whatever it is,
yeah,
that
yeah.
shield he has. I'm not sure if either of those two P words are correct, but he's got that plastic thing on his face. He just punched that, and it was like, oh, it's just. I know I shouldn't be laughing because that's someone's like brother, husband, or whatever it is, but
at the same time, like
this dude was so angry, and just like that's a felony. That's fucking illegal. Like he just punched a policeman.
Yeah, but like just for no fucking reason.
I'm sure he had a reason in his head, whether it was legitimate
the reason
or not. Is a different.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. I meant like an actual reason, not like a fucking.
This would be a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Just some bad.
So yeah, I guess for our listeners, it's not that we are ignorant to any of these facts, but we are just trying to lighten the mood a little bit, get some other thoughts in here.
Yeah.
You went for a skate today without me because you're like, oh, I'm going to go for a skate with Chima. And I was like, oh, cool, that's fine, I get a workout in. Then you send me an Instagram video of this fucking sick looking park.
I told you,
I didn't know that was the one you were going to. And I was like, you motherfucker. Like,
yeah, and it's
it
literally
looks
just
unbelievable.
Around the corner. And it's one of those parks where it's very well kept. So like it's just smooth. Like there's no yeah.
Just
okay.
how I like it.
Smooth.
Well kept.
You know what I mean? Like the concrete is just smooth.
Well, I don't know what you're into, but
The concrete is smooth. There's no like cracks on any of the like transitions. This is just getting worse and worse.
yeah,
Okay.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
I literally can't skate transition. Do you know back in the day, skaters used to call it tranny?
Yeah.
Skating tranny.
They still do.
Yeah. And I just wonder if, is that now against the law or, frowned upon? I don't know what I can say anymore without being like,
Well, no, but
sorry.
No, but well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but
I
no,
guess
but, yeah, but, no, but.
Because what would you say? Like, can you say transvestite, transsexual? What is the appropriate term? It
They're
depends.
two different things.
Oh, enlighten me.
Transvestite
Transvestite means go on.
You dress as
Yeah,
a lady.
that's
or a man, the opposite.
transvestite.
That's dressing, yeah. Whereas
okay.
transsexual means you would have had an operation or you're
Pre or post op.
Yeah, exactly. And if there are any audience members out there of those groups and you need to correct me, please do, because
Well, no, but when you're skating,
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
but obviously skateboarders refer to tranny as transition, not
Yeah, exactly. But then
transsexual. Like, if somebody hears a group of skaters, if somebody hears a group of skaters, it's just like, oh yeah, dude, I hit that tranny so hard. Like people might go, what was he talking about? It's like no, transition. It's just like for short.
yeah,
So you can be forgiven for that.
yeah. But political correctness aside, I can't skate trannies.
It's
Transition.
fun though. Like I went there and I was on the ramp. I was on the mini ramp. I was like, yeah, I used to be sick of this. I was like, I forgot everything. I was like, no, I'm scared.
Yeah, dude. Like you put me on anything of any slope, and I'm like, ha ha. But yeah, I'm kind of glad I gave it a miss because, like I said on the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, I just get injured. I need to get like a massage. I need a masseuse. I need a good masseuse. That's what I need.
Well, not now.
Why not now?
Well, because they're not like
I'm not asking him to sneeze on me. Just touch me.
Yeah, but like they're not operating.
Have you ever had like a really good massage that you've been like, fuck, I need to go back to you again?
Yeah, right before lockdown. And I booked another one and she was like, yeah, let's postpone. I was like, all right, cool. And then it just got extended. She was like, okay, I'll give you a shout
How
for it.
far is this?
It's in Richmond. It's around the corner. You know where that Starbucks was that we tried to get coffee and they were like, oh, you got to give us your fucking
What's it called?
national insurance number and your passport number to log in. No, you know where they were asking for like all your details and that.
I've never had a massage that requires that.
No, it's a Starbucks.
Oh, right.
And then we gave up because you had to put in
yeah.
your fucking mum's maiden name, all sorts. Next door.
Oh, on that road?
Yeah, on that
the
road,
main
literally at the top.
What's it called?
It's a bit weird because it's one of those buildings where it's multi-purpose, right? So there's a concierge at the bottom, and I was kind of like, so I went in there, and I got it through Groupon. I was like, is this the right building? I got a massage booked here, and there's all sorts of like business people, all kinds or whatever. And she was like, yeah, let me just shout for them. I was like, okay, cool. So I
Business
just
people
took
getting
it.
massage on the weekend?
No, but I sat down, and then there's people live in this building. They have offices in this building, all sorts. So like she kind of came down and in like, you know, like one of those, I don't know, masseuse gear. I don't know. She had like white.
I'm imagining
you know,
like
like
the Bane
nurses wear.
costume.
No, not costume. But you know what I mean? It's that kind of like
Kimono.
all white. Yeah.
You got a massage from the KKK?
No. I'm not doing a good job at explaining. You know what masseuses wear? They don't wear jeans and fucking t-shirt. They wear like
they don't wear tops, man.
well, not the massages you get.
I don't actually
get
get those.
normal ones.
Just for the sake of the audience, I don't get that.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, and it was just this one like office cubicle, and it was just this one table with like a cupboard and a chair, and that was it.
There's
And a
no way
mirror.
anyone can ever describe a massage and it sounds not seedy.
No.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Wait, no, but it was legit. Like my neck was
I'm paying
fucked.
a person to touch me.
Yeah, but
It's weird,
to
right?
rub me.
Yeah, exactly. See, it doesn't get any better.
But I mean,
What's this place called? I need
I can't remember, but I will tell you afterwards because I'm gonna have to Google it,
Okay, cool.
and that's gonna take time. Pause.
If you were to open a masseuse parlor, what do you call them?
Massage.
A massage
parlour.
place. Yeah, that.
Sports massage.
What would be a slogan? Let's think of massage parlor slogans.
No one rubs you better.
We rub it the right way.
Oh, rub it.
Robert?
Rub it. Robert.
Who's Robert?
Rub it any way you like.
My name is Robert. And I like the Robert.
I'm sure they're like actually like
Yeah, what's a...
good ones.
Yeah. Slogans are a weird one there. I think there's a couple of slogans I was thinking of. There's one that I've had a problem with my whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a those Think adverts for like drink driving, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that, or like watching your speed. It's not just drink driving.
Yeah. I know exactly what one you're
It's
talking about.
one's called, I can't remember what they're for, but it's like
It's
it's know your limits.
Oh, right.
That's the slogan. And I'm like, right, so to know my limits, I'd have to get to them. But then if I've gotten to them, to know that that's my limit, how do I know that's my limit?
You've got to push the limit.
You've got to, like, to get to the limit. It's like, you can, like, if I ask you to park your car as close as you can to a wall, there are infinite numbers of increments you can get close. Until you hit the fucking thing, that is the limit. You know what I mean? So to tell me to know my limits is sort of counterintuitive because you're telling me, get fucked and drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of those.
Yeah,
that's
no, that's a good point.
I heard that as a kid and I was like, that makes no sense.
But you can see where they're coming from.
I know exactly what they mean.
Yeah.
It's just me being like,
It's just us
pedantic.
dissecting it, going, yeah, but to know your
Yeah, I'm
limits, you
being-
must exceed your limits.
Yeah, just being
And to
funny.
exceed your limits, you have to be pissed behind the wheel. Okay, this is too far. I'm sorry. I was just testing it, officer.
My
I'm just
limit
following
was
the
way back
advice.
there.
I'll go back and get it.
Yeah. Oh, we saw when we were on the way back from here last week. We saw watch your speed. Your son does.
Oh yeah, there's a picture of this kid's face, isn't it? Which
Why?
I don't get what that means.
I
Is
don't
it-
get what that means.
So, one of two things, I think, or well, maybe more things, right? This is what I've come up with, right?
It's also son,
one-
as in like your offspring, like the fruit of your loins,
S-O-N,
not
yeah.
not
Not, you know,
the burning thing in the sky.
that gives us daylight. What's that noise?
It's my ankles. It's my ankles.
Yeah, so one of two things, right? One is where, so the son is in the car and he's going, how fast you going, fam? And like expecting to sort of, I don't know, look at the speedo and be like, you're going too fast there, mum or dad.
Mm-hmm.
Or like as the picture suggests, like he kind of had, it's kind of weird because he had freckles, but
Why is that a relevant
Well,
detail?
no, when you look at it quickly, it can look like blood drops. And you kind of go in, is that like a reference of like someone
Foreshadowing.
getting hit? Yeah, do you know what I mean? I don't understand what it means.
I'll be honest, I don't know what picture you're talking about.
You know the picture. We saw it.
I know. I know. I saw it, but whether I don't remember it. But yeah. Watch your speed. Your son does makes no fucking sense. Pointless slogan. I think this chat started from last week's podcast when we said that Yamaha one that revs your heart.
Oh yeah. Well, there's this one.
Was another really famous slogan. Just
No,
do it,
this-
which just makes me think, Charlotte, just do it.
No, but he came after that, didn't he?
Yeah, true.
There's this one where it's like it's just his eyeball.
That looks like the poster of like a horror movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's definitely ginger though. There might
Well, he's got freckles. I'm not saying that only ginger people have freckles, but
they're my eyelashes, man.
yeah. Oh, but there's all kinds. There's a ginger kid. There's an older man. Watch your speed. Your mate does. Well, that was rejected. Watch your speed. Your sister does. Watch your speed.
What you
Your
said about my
best friend
sister?
does. So they clearly went with son then. I mean, they've gone for equality though. They've got every gender and every race.
All of
in
God's children in one place.
All looking like they're about to get run over by a car.
All of God's children to heaven's gates.
Yeah.
Impossible is nothing. That's Adidas, right? Which,
Adidas, yeah.
That used to annoy me because I was like, what's wrong with saying nothing is impossible? Is it different? I guess it is different. Impossible is nothing.
Yeah, it's like, what's that? Nothing.
You should write slogans. Adidas, what's that?
What's that? Like, yeah, it's nothing, isn't it?
Oh,
Nothing
jeez.
is impossible. Yeah, but it's the same kind of meaning though, isn't it? It's basically saying that, like,
It's the same thing as they just,
you can do anything sort of thing.
yeah.
Thing.
Under Armour's one's funny. I will.
I must. I shall.
I could.
But I won't.
I might. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know, like who...
The
You know what we were
t-shirt.
talking about last week where we like you had the writers like around a table like, oh, okay,
Oh, yeah.
here's a good episode or whatever. Okay, I've got some ideas. Like, do you reckon these are like the same type of people or are they like just execs? Going, right, okay, guys, I've got this idea for a slogan.
Do you know what? It could be a number of those. Like
But
they could have like active like writing and creative sessions just for these slogans to
But
come up.
couldn't that come
But
up with something from, so like obviously you're in media.
Yeah, it can come up with like stuff like that. But usually
like a little mini
it
campaign
comes
or
from the
whatever.
creative agencies, so they'll have like
They'll have their own.
they're like a brand platform essentially, which will be like, for example, how I don't think Under Armour's one was always I will.
right.
There was, I think they have like over the course of
I must, I shall, you know, they went through all the...
no, as in like they had a different idea altogether.
Oh, I see.
And it's all like, if they need to relaunch to try and be more relevant to a certain audience, they'll work on these like strategies for like years and years and be like, okay, here's another platform and this is what the next 5 years will be built off of, for example. So yeah, it's like sometimes it can be the creative agency that comes up with all this shit. So yeah, the media agency doesn't do too much on that front.
Right.
It's usually like the client, as in the brand themselves, and the creative agency. And I'll be like,
I guess that'll be more like in-house, wouldn't it?
it can be in house. Sometimes it'll be outsourced. Like there's like creative agencies sort of it's a collaborative process, which is why I was saying like there's not like one hard and fast rule of how it's done. Like it could just be a passing comment in the office, and some guy's like, "Fucking hell, that's a good slogan. Let's use that.
Get that man a raise.
Get this man a t-shirt with his own logo on it. Logo?
Slogan.
Slogan. Yeah. Although I'm glad you mentioned last week's podcast because remember I talked about those 7 stories, 7 basic plots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what it is overcoming the monster. That's 1. Rags to riches.
Uh-huh.
The quest. Number 3. Number 4 is voyage and return. I forgot what number I just said, but whatever that was,
Cool.
plus one. Comedy, then tragedy, then rebirth. Those are the 7 basic plots that most stories in movies will follow. And anything you can, I can't remember what the name of the guy who came up with it is, but essentially, whatever you think of, whatever movie you think of, can fall into one of those 7 plots.
All right.
I know that we kind of glazed over that point last week, so I was sort of like, I'm going to look this up and make sure I was actually right about it. No, there you go. 7 plots. So pick one and write a fucking story.
A lot more involved in that, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I was trying to have a go at writing a book. And it's,
Oh yeah, no, you still are though, right? How's that going?
yeah, it was fucking hard, man. Like,
Yeah, no shit. It's a book.
yeah, like I can barely follow one thought process from beginning to end in a day. This is asking me to do it over the course of however many fucking pages this is.
Yeah.
I like it's so hard to try and keep on the same like thought train, I suppose, and still have it be like cohesive. Because I like I write it one week and I'm like, I'm cool, I'm happy with this. Then it's like when you're working on music. Like you write a verse and you're like, I like it, cool. Come back the next week, you're like, this is shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck was I smoking when I wrote this? And then same thing with this story. I've actually got like 2 Word docs open. One's sort of like a stream of consciousness where I'm just letting my brain take a shit on the page. Like
That's what they say. You should just write, like, no matter what it is.
Yeah. And I only started doing that about 1,000 words in. Because initially I was like the way my brain works is I'm going to start this idea and I'm going to write it all at one go in chronological order. Like, fuck, that's going to happen. There's no way you can do it. So I started the first like 1,000 words and I just wrote it as like how I'd want the final piece to be.
Oh, okay.
Got past that and I was like, I can't keep doing this. This is so difficult. Like, I'm losing my mind.
How many words have you got? Or how many pages? Or whatever the better term.
I don't know, whatever a Word doc is. Like I've got like
Oh, so you
2
don't-
pages of a Word doc.
Oh, right.
So
Well, how close are you to being, like, done?
Oh,
Like a percentage?
Like not even 10%.
Really? But you've been going at this for time.
Yeah, but I haven't actually worked on it very much. Because the annoying thing is, I've had this idea back in December of 2018.
Uh-huh.
I only actually started working on it in August of 2019.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks after I started working on it, I got my new job. And it's just, the amount of free time has just gone down the drain. But I know it's like an excuse because you make time for the things that you want to do. But it's so hard to be like, now I'm going to be creative.
Yeah.
Go! You know?
See, I always hated writing creatively, like English or, you know, like in school or whatever. I fucking hated it. I don't know. Like, reading isn't my medium.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just sometimes I find myself, like, when I do read a book or, well, I say when, the very rare times that I do, it's mainly just like music books or like about the industry or something. Sometimes I find myself reading the same paragraph over and over again and nothing goes in. I'm like, wait, what? I just forgot what I was reading about. It just doesn't go in.
I do this thing where it's like sort of similar to that, where I get so anxious to know what happens that I sort of jump ahead like a couple of paragraphs. So I skipped. I don't know if anyone else does this. It's probably just like a weird Azim thing, but I skip ahead like 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then I'm like if I can figure it out, then I'll just carry on as it was. But then if I'm like, no, there's holes in the story, then I'll jump back to where I was and read through it properly.
We heard about that shit where people do speed reading, where they read a book in like...
Yeah, Mike does that, and I don't get how the fuck.
Well, some people can read a book in like a couple of hours, if not less. Just... And they just scan through... I remember like reading about it a little bit. That was kind of funny. reading about...
reading about speed reading.
Maybe like an article.
For someone who doesn't like reading.
I don't count reading an article. Reading.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Where there's an actual technique to it, but I forget what it's called.
Just pick out the buzzwords.
No, you legit pick out like the important words, and you're over time, like with more practice, you'll learn to kind of pick out what words are the important ones. Then you sort of just piece it together. I don't know how that works.
I think that's a more like smarter way of what I was trying to explain, but I just don't do it very well because I'm like, if I can piece it together, I'm like, cool, I'll carry on. Whereas about 90% of the time I don't get it, so I got to go back and read it properly.
Yeah, I think a lot of articles that I read, they're kind of, maybe I just don't give a shit about them. And I'm going, yeah, scan. Okay, I got it. And I was like, next article. I was like, oh, what was that one about?
Yeah.
It just didn't do anything for me.
My a friend of mine, Laurie, you met Laurie.
Yeah.
He when he listened to this podcast, he heard about that book club thing I talked about.
Oh yeah.
He sent me a cool website where you sign up for like a subscription, and it sends you like every month or something books and craft beer. And imagine how much that business must be booming right now. Like people are just sat home doing fuck all. Why not, expand your reading and your vocabulary and wow, I did not say that correctly. Vocabulary.
I don't know, man. I think the majority of the people are watching Netflix.
I'm not.
We're not like,
and I represent majority. Okay,
yeah. Of course.
Sorry, go on.
No, we're like the outcasts, really. Like we're not one to follow the social norm, I think. But so many people. Like I think Netflix had something like 30% more subscriptions in March or May. Because everyone was just like, oh, I'm at home now. I can't work. Fuck it. Let's just watch Netflix.
I'm surprised actually manifested itself in subscription, so like actual subscribing. But because most people just be like, can I have a Netflix password?
Oh, yeah.
That's like the amount of like memes you see these petty like exes being like, I'm waiting until my ex is really into a show and then I'll change my password. It's like, get fucked. Just delete it straight away.
Yeah. Yeah, but also, so I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that. But
I use my sister's.
But then you have like the legit customers who actually just go, yeah, fuck it, let's just subscribe. So think how many more they could have had everybody subscribed.
Yeah.
And 30% more in that like in 1 month is like mad.
So speaking of that, Business Insider.
Mm-hmm.
Business Insider? No, sorry. Wrong business title. The Economist.
Oh, okay.
They basically had like a student package, like a subscription deal.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you defined yourself as a student was just to click a button that said, I'm a student, and you got like a discounted subscription.
What?
So they're one of my agency's clients, right?
Okay.
So this is something that the agency brags about, and like every time this thing comes up, or the time this client comes up, they're like, so we like did a bit of digging around, and we realized most of their audience are actually people who own businesses and are not students at all. And they're all just like, oh yeah, we're a student. Oh look, now we have a cheaper subscription and we get business news. So like, just make this more robust, and they got like fucking ridiculously more revenue out of it.
Oh really?
Yeah, just because they were like, just fix your fucking button. Make it a bit more for like bit of a better like check in to whether you're a student or not. Like have a uni email address that's functional. Send some like examples of your bills or whatever, like statements or I don't know how else you pronounce. Prove that you're a student, like your ID card or something.
Yeah, ID card. Yeah.
You need a number. Cross-reference that when you call up the actual fucking uni, rather than just being like, I'm a student. Discount, please.
Yeah, I mean to be fair, like just before I hit like
30,
the checkout. Well, I'm not there yet. Of like a store or something. I always just quickly open up another tab and I'm like such and such promo code or such and such discount. I'm just like
there's a
quick little scan. No, it doesn't work. Fuck it.
This guy at work told me about this Chrome plugin called Honey.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got it?
I've heard about it. I don't have it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, man. That shit came in clutch for me once when I was ordering
legit?
some like supplements and stuff. I was like, geez, I felt like sending her a screen grab. I was like, this actually came in use once.
Still though.
It's so good. Like,
so when you get to the checkout,
it's just like doing like it comes up in the top right and it's like scanning. It says Honey is scanning for discount codes and it gets you the best deal possible.
How do they make money? Do they make any money? Do you pay for this subscription?
There is no, because I didn't pay for it and it worked. But I think they might have done an update where it was uninstalled on my Chrome for a while and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then I haven't gotten it to work ever since. So they might have made it like a paid thing now. I can't imagine how they would make money because there's no ads on it or there's nothing I can really think about.
I mean, to be fair, like now,
being an income stream for them.
Again, like, with this post-COVID thing, there's so many, like now, obviously, like shopping centers are going to be opening. Like from tomorrow, Monday, the 15th, which is tomorrow. They're opening up like Westfield, White City, high streets and that.
Yeah.
So just imagine like the swarm of people, right? But then again, because so many companies have had to develop or, I guess, fund their like infrastructure, for, like the online platform,
e-commerce stuff, yeah.
e-commerce. Like they're gonna realize, oh, okay, we don't actually need that many stores. Like Zara are closing, I think 1,200 stores all over the world. That's a lot.
1,200.
1,200, but that's across the world. I mean, they've got like 96,000 or some ridiculous amount of numbers.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, they're huge, bro. So then I kind of going, well, are people going to go to shops anymore? Or like, I mean, to be fair, sometimes I'd go to shops, right? But I'd be like, okay, I know what I need. I'm just going to go and get it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not kind of like want to just
There's
walk
no, like,
around and
browsing
browse and what's this? And let me just try this on.
I do that,
I don't
but
give
for
a fuck about that.
fragrances.
Yeah, you love your smelly
You've been
smellies.
there. You're like,
Like a museum, can we just go? No, hang on, fam. Let me just.
My favorite thing about going fragrance shopping, like when you were there, where you're like, what's the cheapest one? That sounds all right. There, take that.
Boom, done. Job. But also, so you did this thing where you used those little paper card things.
Only because I know it reacts differently to everyone's skin,
Yeah.
and I know I get it, but
Yeah, but
it'll at least give you like a nice idea of what it is.
I don't know. My mum taught me like you got to put it on your skin because then it's going to smell different.
Yeah,
I mean, there's only so many. You got two forearms. What, 2 arms you can spray it on?
one neck, but you can't smell your own
Yeah,
neck.
exactly.
Try doing that.
So you got to go in like once a day. Like, right, I'm back again. Don't waste that elbow.
Guess who's
elbow.
back?
Don't waste that wrist.
Guess who's back with a brand new forearm?
Just spraying it on your ankle. Like, come here.
I was about to say you could bring a friend, but then I realized that defeats the purpose because they got different skin to you.
Oh, that smells good on you. And you buy it. It smells like shit on me. You have this.
Your pasty ass skin.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just chilling with my melanin.
Yeah.
Oh dear. What were you talking about before this?
Yeah. So
bricks
like
and mortar stores compared to
online
e-commerce,
shopping. Yeah. Like I get like say for me, like I don't shop that much. Like when I buy clothes, I buy clothes maybe once a year. And that's like a pair of jeans every now and again. Like, I've got some old clothes, but they still fit. Fuck it, I don't grow anymore. I need to buy more clothes. Do you know what I mean? Like if something rips, okay, maybe I'll consider it. But I don't need any more shit.
Hole in your boxes. Easy access, isn't it? Keep them.
Yeah, fuck it. You just stitch them back together, man. It's all good. No one sees them.
Let it hang out.
No one sees them. It's fine. Because I want to see something before I buy it. You know what I mean? You kind of, you go, okay, it's all right. And then there's just so much faff. Like you order it, you pay for delivery, or burpee. And then if you don't like it, you got to send it back. And chances are you're not going to send it back because you're going to go through the hassle of doing that. So you're going to keep it anyways. And then you're not going to wear it. And then it's like, it just defeats.
Yeah, do you know what? The amount of stuff I've just kept because I'm like, I can't be able to send it back.
See what I mean?
And I'll just force my style into making that work.
Well, also, so going into like the whole e-commerce thing, I signed up to. Do you know what a focus group is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I signed
Why
up for.
did you think I wouldn't know that?
Oh, I don't know.
That really tickled
So,
me.
anyways, I signed up for like a focus group
Yeah.
website, and I did one. It's like a interview with like some company in America, I think, and it was just about banking, but it was about an app where it was to do with like monthly installments, so like purchases and stuff. And they were like clearly trying to go, oh, would you think this is a good thing? I'm like, I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't use it. So I'm there trying to be nice. Like, yeah, like I like how it looks and stuff. I wouldn't use this.
Focus groups, you just got to be brutally honest.
Yeah, no, I was. But I mean, I got to sort of say like, okay, the interface is nice. I like how you would do this and do that. But
Okay.
I wouldn't use this because I don't like to pay for things. Like, I'm not gonna.
I just
I'm not.
don't like
I just take
free.
them. Free. I don't like to just buy a pair of jeans and just pay for them in monthly installments. Like, fuck that. Because then you go to a danger of like, you're like, oh yeah, it's only X amount of pounds a month. It's like, yeah, cool.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
then
like Klarna.
and then it just builds.
Klarna do that, right?
Something like that, yeah. But it's an actual card, and you can do on anything. You can do like a shop in Tesco, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm just going to pay.
PayPal offer that too, right? PayPal offer
I think
like
they all do now, man. They're all competing against each other, and Square and all sorts.
right. I haven't even got a credit card.
See, I was very much.
I know I need to get one because of my credit.
Yeah,
whatever
for
it
me,
is.
I was kind of like, oh, I don't want a credit card because of debt and stuff. It's like, well, no, it's only debt if you don't pay it off. So, like, if you don't just buy stuff that you wouldn't normally buy, then you're fine. So, what I do is on my credit card, I just use that for everything I buy on my credit card.
Yeah,
right?
just pay off.
And I pay off straight away.
Because your behavior doesn't change just because you got a credit card.
No, of course not. But some people do. And that's the danger because free
I
money.
think if I'd gotten it when I was at uni, that would have been like a disaster.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. In uni, I use my overdraft, like the interest-free one you get, to the max. I had, I think, $2,000 at one point. So I had $1,000 for my first year, then $2,000 interest-free, and then it went back down to 1. So it sort of wean you off it, and it goes to 0, like after you graduate.
Wean you off your overdraft like it's crack.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, like you as a student, you build up that debt, right? But because it's interest-free, it's like, yeah, sweet. I remember I was on a bus back from work. Well, I used to work at Primark. And they were like, oh, we're going to go out for a drink. I was like, oh, I really want to go. And I looked at my bank account and I was like, I went over my overdraft. I was like, oh, no. I was like, Mom.
How much?
Only like by a few quid, but I was like, fuck, I have
because it was
no money.
minus 2,000 and then some.
And then some, yes. And then I had to pay extra. I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, Mom, can I just get like maybe 100 quid? And then I could just go out, see my friends. But the thing is, I never went out. So my expenses were just on...
You're a pretty mature student, I suppose.
But then my problem is because I very...
French for boring.
Like, I never went out, right? So when I did go out, I was like, hey, drink for you. So how much was 100 quid? Where? Yeah, exactly. I'm too generous when I go out.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Well, that's a bad thing, but I'm like, oh, but I never go out. And then when I do...
Make loads of friends.
Yeah.
That you won't remember. And they don't remember you either. Apart from like, oh, just that like really friendly guy kept buying me drinks. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Nobody jank him.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the time we went out for your birthday to that place. And who is it? Was it Lawrence?
Oh, I squirted him in the eye. Charlotte lost her shit about that.
Dude, I got flashbacks
so
to
funny.
that. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, we had these like syringes. It was like with drinks in it, and I thought it was a prop, and I kind of jokingly just picked it up. Didn't even point it like intentionally at Lawrence, thinking it was a prop. Just kind of went haha and squeezed it. Turns out it had this like radioactive, like bright green liquid in it.
Yeah.
Obviously had alcohol in it. And I squirted it out and it went across the table. And I actually heard like the of like the impact of the liquid on his eyeball, and I saw him grab his eye and go, oh, my eye! and then I just heard Charlotte lose her shit, and then she made me lose my shit, and I was, I swear to God. And then,
but the thing is, right? So you looked at him, went, oh, what's this? And just, I saw the intent behind your eyes. You went, hey, Laurie, what's this? And just squeezed it. You looked at him, blood. You went. He's like, oh!
I just thought it was a prop, and then it wouldn't
hurts.
squirt because it was already in a drink that had liquid in it. So I was like, well, this can't have more liquid in it because that's just dumb. Apparently not.
It did.
The only dumb thing there was me. So, going back to the bricks and mortar thing, the amount of things closing down, like a lot of companies are making redundancies, which is why this past week's been really shit. I've told you about this briefly, but like, so my company is having to. So the legality of it is like when a company in the UK has to make any more than 20 employees redundant in one go, it goes into something called collective consultancy, which is the process that we're in. So it's a month's worth of having everyone that's potentially at risk on a list, and they're aware of it, and they can see other people on that list.
Oh, lame.
And so like everyone I'm spoken, I'm like, so my job's somehow safe. My level is safe. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it just is. No one from my level is on that list. I think probably because it's only about 4 or 5 of them in the company.
Okay.
So, and I think the level that it's at is like it can be stretched to the one above, and it can obviously cover the sort of day-to-day stuff below. So I think in terms of running an account when it comes to media, it's probably pretty effective. But yeah, so I've been talking to quite a few people from my company, and it's like some of them losing sleep. Like it's
it's your job, innit? Like,
if you're
risk,
not,
innit?
So I've got like a friend, and he's like recently, just before COVID lockdown hit, he'd just taken out renting a new house with 2 or 3 of his other mates, I think. So he's just gone back home. The landlord's been like, listen, just pay a third of it, which is, in the grand scheme of things, that's like he's done him
a third of his portion.
A third. Yeah.
Oh damn.
So he's gone back to live with his parents, and other people. This girl from Oz, she's like, well, if I get made redundant, then I'm going to have to go back to Australia. And she's also at the end of her lease currently, so it's like you have to go look for a house, on the assumption that you're going to stay, and
For a
it's
year
like
at least,
it's like that
yeah.
kind of unknown is just the worst. And whilst I'm not directly affected by it, I am indirectly affected by it, so I'm still working like day in day out with these people. So me and this other guy from my level had a call, and we were like, because he's the only one on his side of the team that didn't get the call or have that meeting put in. He's like, dude, I don't even feel like I'm on a team anymore. Like no one's telling me anything. And I'm sort of lucky because there's me and one other girl who are not on the call, and our team's quite open.
Yeah.
Just like the nature of our personality. So they're like, we'll be on a team catch up call, and they'll be discussing like, oh, so and so's on it. So I know a lot more than I should, but it's kind of good in that sense where I'm not so disconnected from my immediate team, even though they're going through a really stressful time.
Times, yeah.
So yeah, it's been a roller coaster of a week. I don't think anyone's been motivated to work. And the worst part is, right, so they said, oh, it's going to be business as usual. But when you're asking other people for work to be delivered, just be sensitive about their pressures. I'm like,
So it's,
well, how the fuck is that business as usual?
yeah.
Then? My client's still going to have the same pressures on me, and I'm meant to go like, oh, cool, we'll deliver it as normal time, but be sensitive. Fuck off.
Nah,
That's
you can't.
you need to like step down off the hierarchical view of the place. And I get it; it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
But at the same time, get your head out.
You
your
still
arse
gotta
and
do your work,
Look at the
though.
day. Look at the day today.
Yeah.
Like there's a human side to it as well.
You are still employed, so you still have to.
Yeah. So let us
Put the
tell the
work in.
clients, listen, there is a decreased resource, as I'm sure you can understand, because we're all going through the same fucking pandemic.
Mhm.
I think that like again, communication, like just tell them, be straight up, and they'll understand, But again, come back down to numbers and deliverables and all that shit. So it's been a roller coaster of a week.
Oh man.
Everyone's stressed. Like there are people who are number one uncertain because their projects will be sort of in limbo because they'll be in charge of projects, but the people that actually implement them will be gone.
Oh shit.
So then they've committed themselves to a date, but business as usual means, you got to still keep that date. But then who's doing that?
Oh, so there's no like.
So they're going to find out in July sometime. And that's the worst bit, the limbo, like being held at the peak of nervous energy.
For that long.
Yeah. You're going to get burnt out. It's like, if I said, okay, you got a boxing match at 6 o'clock, you hype yourself up, it gets delayed. And you're like, oh, my fucking nerves are zapped. You get out there at 7 o'clock, nothing.
Yeah.
You can't be explosive. You can't do
psych
shit.
yourself back up in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, like, to do that, like working day in day out, especially when you're in a client servicing sort of, like you get it. Like if I told you about a potential huge gig, it's a banker, it gets lost. Then you get finally told, you can play it, but only for like 25% of the money. You can't go there and play with the same energy.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're gonna have to front it and just do it.
Yeah, in that regard, like I'm kind of glad where I've not really had a quote unquote normal job for a while.
Yeah.
So obviously going through all that sort of shit, especially now, is it's awful. I mean, us musicians and other self-employed people are going through the same sort of shit, but obviously it's a different way where when you're self-employed, you can kind of
you're responsible for it from scratch, and no one's bullshitting you. Whereas these,
but you're responsible for it for your own
project
work, really.
Yeah.
So it's only how active you are and how, I guess, resourceful you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how clever you are as well. But obviously, when you're working for a company, it's ultimately the company's decision. And if they just go, okay, we have to do this, and not necessarily because, like, even if you're a really good employee, if they can't afford to keep you, they can't afford to keep you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're always at that mercy of the higher ups.
This is the other thing, right? So a lot of people who are on furlough are they're under the impression that this is like a proving period. And they're like, oh, what are we meant to do? It's like they've made the decision, man. Like they aren't judging you on the criteria now.
No,
because number one, you're not there to do any work to prove it, and
Yeah.
number two, what's a month's worth of work going to do when they've already forecasted this a while ago and been like, we're going to have to cut some loose. There are other things that they have to worry about,
Yeah, I hate to be in that position. Like,
But as in,
just deciding who gets,
yeah,
who stays and who goes.
I was talking to a girl from my agency about this. We were trying to like figure out what the criteria was, and it's a lot of things, because it's also like the added value of that person. So, for example, there's people who are on like new business pitches, for example. it's easy to pick out the absolute bankers. And this is what I said to her as well. It's like it's easy to pick out the ones who you know are going to stay because they have that extra thing they add to the company beyond their job role.
Yeah.
Than it is to pick out the weak ones. At least for me, anyway.
Sure.
But yeah, it's that cross reference with how much your pay is, how much your redundancy package would end up being legally.
How does that work? Now, how does a redundancy package work?
I think it's
you're entitled to it, right?
You're yeah. I think at the very least it's like 1 or 2 months worth of pay.
Full pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, I think it depends from level to level and the length of service.
Oh, okay. Depends how long.
Suspect.
Okay.
I suspect. But again, there's no there's no hard and fast rule. Businesses can do what they want, and it's like, are you going to take a lawsuit up against a big giant, or
and all that time?
Which one's going to be
man.
more cost effective for you? So yeah, it's been a really shit week for a lot of people close to me. Yeah, hate to end on a low.
Jesus,
but
fun times.
That's the reality of our situation at the moment.
Yeah, but I guess everyone. Well, not everyone, but some people who are listening to this are probably going through the same sort of shit. So I guess it's in some way kind of nice to know that it's not just them, or
Yeah.
Not that it's good that a lot of other people are, kind of losing their jobs or whatever. But
the other thing is like, there are going to be a lot of companies doing this, so there's going to be like a big group,
huge
of people,
unemployment as well.
Yeah, all of them looking for jobs, and a lot of them will be from, for example, from media, right? So I know that there was a media group. I'm not going to name them, but they were basically given the same option that our guys were, and that here's a voluntary salary sacrifice. I think that the big wigs got like 15%, and they were like, nah. Fuck tons of people got made redundant because they were just like, we're not taking that cut. So those people, this happened like a month and a bit ago. Those people from that agency are now already looking for jobs. They're already on like the job circuit. They've done their CVs. They're now applying.
They're ahead of the game, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. But now if these lot from my agency go, they're going to be a month and a half behind the game now. So yeah, where do you stand? But again, like you said, if you're self-employed, you're your own boss. You can force, your foresight is beneficial to you. But you can implement that and put into practice.
But you also have to have that foresight. So there's a lot of self-employed people who don't
see it coming.
No, not necessarily don't see it coming, but they just don't go out of their way to try hard. Like times like these show just how well prepared you have to be, but also how many different streams of income you got to have. Like if you're relying on just like one job solely, you're at the mercy of that employer. If they just one day go bankrupt, you're fucked. Like, what are you going to do? You've got to look for another job. Whereas when you've got, different sort of, obviously I can only relate it to me. Like I've got other gigs, you teach as well. And I'll be honest, like teaching for me during this time has been like the savior because I can still teach.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, like I would then have to put myself out there as a teacher with everybody else who's a musician who only gigged doing the same fucking thing. Whereas I'm lucky because I already had a plethora of students that I can just go, hey, do you want to just continue? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll give it a go. And then luckily they've enjoyed it and they've done it for it's been like 10 weeks now, isn't it? Fucking ages.
What I noticed last week. So, when we finished this podcast last week, we went to Rhythm and Brews, and you got chatting to that girl, and she ended up working at A&R, and it's just so nice how like you could literally stumble upon, like you would literally just with a mate getting a coffee, and you could literally stumble upon an opportunity, and that's what's like so beautiful about that industry.
Organic, yeah,
exactly. So it's just like she wasn't in the right genre, but it doesn't matter.
No, exactly. Well, her boyfriend played in a blues band who actually got in touch with me. Yeah. He's saying, I'm looking for a drummer. I haven't actually checked out his music. I've not had time, but I'll do that.
But there you go. See, like another potential revenue stream. So,
and again, like,
I don't have that luxury.
But it's such a gamble with kind
your
of
time and your effort. And
but it's just, again, you've got to be very personable. Is that a word? You've got to be, just really easy to talk to or whatever. If I didn't have a business card on me, then it would make that whole sort of situation a bit kind of more awkward. Like, let me give you my number. It looks a bit weird, you know what I mean? Or
she worked in the industry too. So
but if you've got a business card, it's kind of like boom, like straight away. It's a bit more professional. But again, you're at the mercy of yourself. Like if you're not active and you're not like kind of spotting these opportunities and just going for them, then you lose out, you know. You just got to make the most of it, really. And to be fair, like now is more of a time than any to just get creative. Like if you are working, you know, your quote unquote normal job or like in an office or whatever, like you've got all the time now to just think outside the box a bit more. Like if you've always wanted to work for yourself, see how you can, you know, do a bunch of research, just learn as much as you can. And if you come out of it sort of going, no, I don't want to do this, that's fine. As long as you've
At least you got an answer, right?
Exactly. Like as long as you've explored the options, you know, there's going to be a ton more people working from home. So the kind of opportunity to do that is going to be a lot better. So you could potentially work 2 jobs, you know?
Yeah.
Like I know that Facebook, Twitter and all these big companies are saying you can work from home if you want.
Yeah. I've been working from home for 3 months now.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, I know. Some people had it,
but
some people
on
like
that
it.
creativity thing, I know we touched on it a few weeks ago. I didn't do a very good shout out to him, but Mike with his Mike's Mediocre Analysis, the MMA blog, then Ryan with __ association, just like little research topics and then just like little sort of tidbits of information just because you know you have a genuine interest in it. I think that's another thing that's cool about your industry is that it's a passion for a lot. That's why you start. Yeah. Not many people go into music because they're like, oh, I want to get rich and famous, because the disingenuous nature of that,
very far anyways.
Disingenuous art can be picked apart very quickly by those who are seeking authenticity. So a lot of the time it is a passion point. So for that reason, if you follow something that you actually like, it sort of comes through.
Yeah, passion will always like outweigh anything else. Like you've got to, you know, at the beginning of any
sounds like a self-help book we're writing.
No, but
follow your dreams.
No, but legit, like, you know, when you get into say music or whatever, there's going to be ages before you start making or seeing any money. You got to put the work in. Like, it's fucking tough, bro.
You're going to
like,
make a huge loss before you see again.
100%. Like time loss as well and monetary loss. You got to invest a lot of money in stuff.
Yeah, that reminds me of a totally off topic, but we probably should start wrapping up soon anyway. But just to finish off with something a little left field. So, you know, they say time is money. Yeah. I had a friend at secondary school, we're British, who managed to do, he was really, really good at maths. And he's like, Azim, I found an equation to show that women are the root of all evil. I was like, we went to an all boys school. So I was like,
entertain me, all right.
I was like, okay, Chris, bit out of the blue, but okay, let's hear it. He's like, so time is money. Money is the root of all evil. Women need time. Time is money. Women are the root of all evil. I was like, cool.
Confirmed.
And with that, Illuminati confirmed. And with that, we'll leave you. Thank you guys so much for listening this week. I guess we'll hit you up with the socials once again. Also, check the description because we'll drop in those MMA blogs and the Instagram page for the football posts as well. Yeah. From our friends. So if you want to get in touch with us, Twitter is almostgrownup2, the number, and Instagram
is almost.grownup. Twitter is probably the best place to get us because Azim's like taking care of that. And I
ain't nobody got time for that.
Social media. So my apologies.
And if you're digging this music you've been hearing in the intro and the outro, check out Time Save Recording and My Pet Flamingo. It's actually from my good friend Jerome, who will have on the podcast as well very shortly, as soon as we figure out how to route the audio.
Peace. See ya.